Alright, so greetings, this is Edward Ojambo. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a review of the Bluefish text editor. Before I begin, quick reminder that I do a live stream every single day, usually around 2 p.m. Eastern. You're free to ask any questions in the live chat about programming or lifestyle topics. And the live stream, I can see here the channel it's going to be on, where you can log in and then you post your requests. And of course, if you don't want to do that, you can simply watch the video. The video is also embedded in this article. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. I'd like to thank everybody who has subscribed so far this month. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and it helps me get motivated to make more videos. All right, let's continue. So, Bluefish Editor is a lightweight, fast, and powerful code editor. Bluefish Editor might be just what you need. It's open source, cross-platform code editor designed to handle a variety of programming languages, including HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, and more. And as you can see, I'll show you in a few seconds that it does have, it was actually first introduced as an HTML editor. It has a lot of features that help you, especially if you do HTML, and I'll show that to you when you go along. So, obviously it has syntax highlighting in over 20 languages, it's a multi-document interface, there's code forwarding, autocomplete, remote file editing via FTP or SFTP, there's project management, it's fast and lightweight, we talked about that as well, and it will continuously improved by a community of developers. It's available on Linux, Windows, and macOS, making it an ideal choice for anyone looking for a free and open source editor. Okay, so to install it, I'm going to use I'm on Linux, I'm on Fedora Linux, so as you can see, what I did is I just type sudo dnf install Bluefish, or any Linux, let's say using GNOME or KDE. There's also some type of software application where you can install it that way, and I think it also comes as a flat pack or maybe even a snap package, and then obviously you can go to the Bluefish website, which is bluefish.openoffice.nl. I'll give you an example here. This, for example, the Windows version. If you want to install for Windows or Mac OS, as you can see, it's been around for 25 years, and as of the time of this recording, the latest version is 2.2.17. That's one we're going to be reviewing. Now, so when you go to download, as you can see here, they have specific packages for the different Linux distros. There's one for OS X and one for Windows as well. And there's, surprisingly, there's an older 32-bit Windows installer as well. There you go. All right. Now, after installing Bluefish, this is what it looks like. I haven't done anything specific to it. I think the only thing I tweaked might have been the word wrap, but I'll show you all that as well. So as you can see, the first time you open up, we do have a default tab which says untitled, because nothing's happened yet. And the next one is we have the file explorer on the side here. So for example, down here you can see there's the you can just insert HTML entities. This is actually a very useful feature, especially if you do a lot of HTML, as I've said before. And there's also, if we go this way, this is the file explorer, and as you can see, I already have this folder called editor -review. I'll show you that as well. That's the one here. You see the editor, this is the file manager. You can see I have some images, I have the syntax highlighting example for Python, I have the one for Java, PHP. The PHP one is combined, it has HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and obviously PHP. This is a regex file, this is an XML file, and this is a 1 gig size. Just to prove it to you, you can see here, when I click on it, you see here it's 1.1 gig. The rest are pretty small. It's a JPEG, JPEG, PNG, and AVF file. So that's it. So I'm gonna remove this from here because we can use the file explorer instead for this review. Okay, and this is the video. It's a live stream, so as you can see, it's live. All right. So my requirements for programming editor is I need obviously some type of code editor. I need an ID. Basically, the difference between a code editor and an ID is an ID has some extra features like for example, you can compile the code or open, just click a button, open up in a web browser. Those are ID type features. If you don't know what ID stands for, it stands for Integrated Development Environment. And what is a code editor? Code editor could basically just be anything that is designed for writing and editing source code. So that could literally just be something with syntax highlighting. Okay, and then plugins, theme, open source, you can read all about it. SCM, that's something, it's source code management, something like Git. LMB, that stands for left mouse button. For example, some tricks you might have to use your, you can call it just a click. That's basically what that stands for. It's just a shortcut. This is my system. Basically, I'm running an Intel i7-2600, 16 gigs of DDR3 RAM. My operating system, as I said before, is Fedora Linux Workstation 42. I'm running the GNOME 48 desktop, and as I already went through the files for the test system here, I'll just do a more highlight. The Java version 21.07, the PHP version is 8.4.8, Python version is 3.13.3, the Bluefish version, Bluefish Editor, as we showed before, is 2.2.17. That came out in 2025 in spring. So it's still relevant at the time of this recording. Now, that's the test suite. The test scoring that each feature has two parts. You get a score of 0 if it's missing the feature, and for a part, if some of the feature does work, it will get a 0.5. So the maximum score for each feature will get is 1, and if some half of the feature works or mostly partly works, it will get a 0.5. The 3 BIOS elimination steps were utilized. The editor was used for at least 3 years on different platforms. Attempts were made to get stable plugins for missing features. The same editor was compared between the one in repository, the developer's website, and the compiled version if applicable. Now, this was true in the past, but these days most of the distros, especially something like Fedora, they usually don't tweak it, they leave it as is. The only problem, so this is no longer a problem. However, in the past, there would be things if we were using maybe some proprietary plugins or something like that. So in my particular case, everything is open source. That's the reason why, for example, I don't use Visual Studio Code, because it's a proprietary, they have restrictions on what you can or cannot do. Okay, so with that said, I showed you where you can download the Bluefish from, as you can see here. It's bluefish.openoffice.nl. That's where you can go to get download a Bluefish. So the first feature is the theme. So for the theme, I gave it a perfect 1.0 because it has dark and light themes. So before I continue with the features, let's go a quick overview here. You see there's a file menu here, and simple file, open, close files. You can open stuff in a URL, you can insert, you can print. That's pretty basic stuff on virtually any editor. You can also new from templates, so you can also create your own templates. With templates are fine because I said I mostly use this just for HTML and XML. It's really good for that. So this works extremely well. Now we'll go to the edit menu. You have the usual undo, redo, undo all, redo all, cut, copy, paste, paste special, select all, find again, find from clipboard, advanced find and replace. So advanced find and replace, this is where you see here that you can search for, replace with, and under options you see you can match patterns normal, or you can use regular expressions. The PCRE, in case some of you guys don't know, that's usually stands for something that's compatible with Perl language. Okay, and then the scope, you have active document from the cursor position, current selection, all open documents, files on disk. So that's an IDE type feature. Then you can show the results in output pane. You can case sensitive matching, patterns containing escape sequences, and make bookmark permanent. So that's all up to you. And then you can see here, you can do a replace all, replace, back, forward, and bookmark all. Okay, so I'll close that. Under edit menu again, the last item is the preferences. And the preferences, you have the initial document settings, and you can see you have the MIME type, text plain, and none. So that means that when the program is first opened, like for example the first time ever, that's why it had untitled. That's just a plain text. But if you want to change the MIME type, as you can see, there's different. It could be JSON or something else. There are so many of them in there. Yeah. And then of course you can have a specific template. None, which is the default. You can also do C header, GPL, HTML5, PHP, and XHTML 1.0. And you see the options here. Enabled auto completion. Yes, that's enable block folding, enable block stack in status bar, highlight block delimiters, highlight current lines, show line numbers, enable spell check. Those are all enabled by default. I didn't touch anything there. The one show right margin indicator, I don't like using that one because these days with the wider screens that doesn't make any sense anymore. I think that should actually be removed. Auto indenting, yes, that's good. Wrap lines, you see, doesn't wrap the lines, so I'm going to enable that just to make the tutorial much faster. Another one that's already enabled by default is enable syntax scanning. Okay, and then show visible spacing and show indenting. Those are unchecked by default. And then you can see the tab stops. It's set to 3. I didn't change this yet. That works pretty well. Before in the past it used to be 5, but 3 is pretty good, especially with bigger fonts. And as you can see, these editor settings. There's a lot of things you can do in here. I can't even go to pause. There's backup and recovery. The user interface. You have your shortcut keys. Dimensions, fonts and colors. You see the default is to use the system document tab font. That's actually pretty good. Images, JPEG, perfectly fine. External commands, Firefox, of course. I have Firefox installed. Chromium, oh that's good. Opera, Epiphany, links to, that's a graphic one. Then the change mode, A+X, and insert date. So those are all quick commands. You can also add your own commands. You can click add and then you put your command. For example, Firefox opens up with Firefox space, single quote, %p, single quote, and ampersand. So what that means, that %p, that means that it will take the code on that page and it will open up into Firefox or the file. And then there's external filters. You have CSS tidy, compress CSS, decompress CSS, JavaScript minify with JSmin, JS Beauty, JSON Beautifier, PHP Beautifier, render HTML to test, stripped empty lines, tidy HTML using period tidy, tidy convert to XHTML, tidy HTML, DOS to Unix, reverse lines, sort / unique, and sort. And obviously you can add your own entry. Basically just add it there and then to use the command line tool to do something. Then you have output parsers, you have C tags, pylint, PHP code sniffer, Perl syntax check, PHP syntax check, PHP XML lint, XML checker, Java C, that's a compiler for Java, tidy HTML validator, WebLint HTML checker, and make. And then the bookmark commands generate from C tags. You have your plugins. The plugins are HTML features. That's the only one we have right now. And the language support, as you can see, lots and lots and lots of languages. I'm going to pick a sample one here. I'll check HTML5. And you can see there's jQuery, syntax, include. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do. CSS, of course. So I'm going to get out of there. In the view menu, you have obviously the usual full screen, and then you can check the main toolbar, sidebar, output pane, status bar, HTML toolbar, snippets. In the Go menu, as you can see, this is where you can jump to the document, go to line, things like that, go to line number from clipboard, jump to reference. In tools, we have the Firefox commands. These things are all seen from the settings, and you have format, indent, unindent, insert, lowest ipsum generator, insert absolute file name, insert relative file name, and insert color. And then you have convert. You can convert characters to entities, entities to characters, URL decode, URL encode, to lowercase and to uppercase. And as I said, you can also add more as well. There's so much. There's word count, the duplicate line, delete line, select block, toggle comment, synchronize text block. Okay, there's Zen coding. I'm not going to go through that. There's a lot of videos out there for Zen coding. You can remove tag, merge lines, also part of, there's a lot more in Zen coding. And tags, there's headings, entities, format by context, format by layout, obviously HTML, and format general, for example, paragraph, break, table, list, form, HTML5, miscellaneous, such as span, div, links, and comment. In dialogues, you have the general, you have quick start, link, body, and so forth and so forth. Table, CSS, frame, font, HTML, edit tag and a cursor. And finally, you have in help, you have the Bluefish homepage, report and bug, about, and the build info. So as you can see here, it says Bluefish 2.2.17. Okay, now with that said, let's go to the features that I need as a programmer. Okay, so the first thing, as I said, is the theme. I showed you how to change the theme. Once again, you go to edit, and then you go to preferences, and then you can change the theme here. You can also download themes as well. You can get a template, and you can also download themes. So for example, here you go to the fonts and colors, and as you can see, you can also get your color profiles there, and you can use system-wide color settings. That's the one I chose. So it gets a 1.0, dragging and dropping. It opens a new tab, which is great, but the problem is you cannot position it. So that's why it got a 0.5. If you don't know what that means, I'll just do a quick example here. So for example, you see this one, it says untitled 0, that's the first tab. Let's say I want to drag it to I want to make a new first tab. So for example, I'm going to take this file, the regex file, and I want to put it right there. You see, I can't do it. Oh, let me try another one, the book one. I want it to be the first one. Oh, it actually does work. Okay, maybe I'm wrong there. All right. Okay, okay. It didn't work when I tested this. Okay, that does work. But the problem is I cannot drag and drop. So I'll tell you what the problem is. Let's say I want to split the screen. Obviously, you can't do that. So for example, I'm going to take the syntax one. See, I can't put it here, for example. Yeah, I mean, you can drag it into here, but I can't. That's why it got a 0.5. All right, opening a very large file. So I have this one here, the 1 gig. This one, I'm going to open this one. So what's going to happen is, after a while, it's going to come up with a message, and then it will actually crash. You see this message? It says Bluefish Editor is not responding. Force quit or wait. So I'm just going to do force quit because waiting will just crash it anyways. I've tried this before. Yeah, see, it just... so Bluefish, open up Bluefish again. And you see one of the problems is I opened up Bluefish again, doesn't remember what I had opened before. Remember I had a couple of files open, it doesn't remember that. But I believe it should remember that I was where I was, which was in the editor review. That's perfect. So that's what got a 0.0 for number 3. Number 4, multiple documents can be opened in multiple tabs as you saw. I cannot tear them off. If you don't understand what that means, I'll give you an example. I'll open these 2 files again. So I cannot tear this off, like put it in a new window. You see, I am not able to tear it off. That's why it got a 0.5 for that. Multiple editors can be opened in new tabs with a drag option. The window view cannot be split either vertically or horizontally. I gave this a 1.0. This is actually wrong. I think that's clearly. Oh no, I remember. So if I right click here, I can open up. Where was new window? Where was it? In view maybe? Yeah, so that doesn't work. That's actually wrong here. That should be a 0.5. Check creating non-project files is possible, obviously, because I just dragged this one in here. But you have to use the file manager. I can't simply just drag a new folder in. You have to use the file manager. You have to go to, you have to go to open, basically, and use the file manager. So that's what I got 0.5. Soft wrap. I enabled soft wrap. If you don't know what soft wrap is, I'll give you an example. I think the Python one. Is it Java? Yeah, here we go. So if you don't know what that is, let me zoom in. So soft wrap does wrap in that if something is too big here, it will go to the next line. So that does work, and I believe did I enable it, or was I chatting too much? Oh, I forgot to click wrap lines. Oh, I think because it crashed, so I didn't remember. So I click that, I'll press OK. Now you see here, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what is going on. It's not working. I think I have to type something. Let me go here, try regex. Grab this line. Does it have to be for each one? I hope not. Yeah, it says wrap lines. Why is that not working? It was working before. I don't know what's going on here. Huh, that is weird. It does work. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, that's soft wrap. Yeah, it was working before. I don't know why it's not working now. It does work. And obviously we have spell check. So for example, if I spell this wrong, color versus color, that's not working as well. I don't know what's going on here. Spell check. Oh yeah, we go spell check. Oh, it's set to AG. What is AG? Let's click to Canada. There we go, Canada. So color versus color. Okay, so what else? Word count. So word count, obviously, like for example, this is 3 words. If I highlight those 3 words, and you see there's nothing here. So if I go to those tools, I go word count, and it tells me, see, it tells me right here it's 3 words. So that's great, that works. And then I can jump to line by using Control L. So for example, let me zoom in here. Okay, so let's say I want to jump to line 15. So what I do is I Control L and type 15, and you see it went to line 15, even highlighted line 15. So that's fantastic. That's why that got a 1.0. Multiple language, so that's the PHP file here, PHP, and you can see it's HTML. Even though it's a PHP file, it's HTML. Then there's some CSS, which is obviously also highlighted here, and then there's PHP here embedded in the div, and after that there's an alarm. Sorry, there's JavaScript as well. PHP here again, and there should be JavaScript. Where's the JavaScript? Oh, here's the script. That's a JavaScript. Okay, so that's a multiple language. Obviously gets 1.0. Code forwarding obviously works as well. For example, this script, you see, I can do that. I can do the JavaScript part as well. So it does work. I can do the body, etc., etc. For code forwarding, selecting a rectangular block per selection does not work. So I got a 0. Multiple selection is not available via Bluefish. Select multiple selection is not available. There's ways you can mimic something like that, but it's not intuitive, so that's why it got a 0. Destruction free obviously does work. So the destruction free means that you can, for example, get rid of these icons. Obviously that will be in view. You see here, I can get rid of the main toolbar, I can get rid of the sidebar, I can get rid of the status bar, I can get rid of the HTML bar. You get my point. And snippets menu, yes, keep on going and going. That, so it's not quite the same thing, but it does do a decent job. Okay, and obviously you can toggle them back on. The file manager, I already explained it. Obviously I can see, right click here, new file, new directory, so that works. And then the terminal, it doesn't have an integrated terminal, so that gets a 0. So overall, the Bluefish Editor is a powerful IDE. By default, the Bluefish Editor worked without tweaks, and any missing requirements, features can be initiated by using plugins. For my required features, the Bluefish Editor scored a 72.50 or 7.25 out of 10. If you need help with Bluefish, Editor, or have specific questions about installation, customization, or migration, feel free to reach out. I offer one-on-one programming tutorials and can help with custom installations, updates, and migrations. You can contact me for personalized assistance by visiting ojambo.com/contact. Bluefish is a fantastic tool for developers looking for an open source, fast, feature-packed code editor. Whether you're just starting out or you've been coding for years, Bluefish can help you write code efficiently with its easy-to-use interface and powerful features. I hope this guide helps you get started with Bluefish. Feel free to reach out for more tutorials, or if you need help getting Bluefish set up or customized for your development workflow. Happy coding! So before we finish up here, I just want to also remind everybody that I do a live stream every single day. Visit ojambo.com for details, and also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. Okay, so I'm going to pop in and check the live stream. I don't see any chat requests, so I'm going to end the live stream, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.